Okay, this is actually it's a 50cc moped, believe it or not. And owner reported his main fuse popping all the time. He hit a bump and main fuse was popping. So with electrical protocol, we go circuit by circuit. First thing, we start off with the battery, which was improperly mounted. They had eyelets, and this battery takes tabs. So I spent, and we got it on the charger, some time making a sub extension for the terminals that fit that, and on the harness itself a male-female connection. So this will have a sub harness coming off of it with an easy 5-inch extension so you can unplug it. So I got that done. And then it's kind of like the luck of the draw. So started, the report is he hit a bump. He just got the bike, so it's like maybe the second, third, fourth ride. And the owner had worked with another mechanic. They did a piston one up, or maybe 2 or 3 up on the head. Replaced all the good components that you should to beef it up in the motor. This is purely an electrical troubleshooting scenario. So follow the protocol, isolate the ground. Basically the terminal on the positive had a ground signal, and just started unplugging from the rear cluster, which represents all the tail lights. So we didn't get that. Then disconnect the mid cluster, which is the motor battery. Then went straight to the front, disconnected light plug and clusters, and anything on the belly that I could reach underneath. Well, none of that gave us the signal, which is to make that continuity go to 1, like this. That's what we want. So I went through, we had to take this tank off, which, man, they designed this thing like a pretzel. Took some time, but got to the upper mid cluster, and I started unplugging everything. Murphy's Law is like right down to the last one, which is the key switch. Took the ground off, and then we got the signal that dropped. And this is detached, and that's the harness side. This is coming from the, not key switch, but the right switch. So went off, took the switch off, dismantled the switch, inspected all the button connections, looking for the black wire circuit, which loops back in. You'll see 2 of these, and one comes from the main harness, and there is the brake relay loop, which is a hot. And guess what we found when I took the master unit off? We have our ground short. So apparently when they mounted, that's the switch on this side for the brake switch on the lever. When they mounted the switch, those prongs should be pointing upward. They crushed the prongs and they compromised the insulation of a hot that was touching the bar. So you're looking at it right there. So, well, again, luck of the draw. I traditionally start from the rear, work it all the way up to the very, very last circuit. So we found it. So I'm going to take this apart, see if we can save it, reattach it, and basically see how this thing was designed. You see all that scraping? So that's probably the hot point marking right there, where it's blowing the hot fuse. Whew. You know, moped or bike, doesn't matter. Same. It would have happened for any bike this way. and the pretzel fit was almost insulting, you know, the way they layered and pretzel fit all this stuff. It just took forever. Anyway, we found it. Now we're moving on for repair.